Propagating crotons from cuttings is a very easy thing to do. Watch this video and I'll explain all the steps needed. You'll first need to prepare your work area, and this includes getting your cuttings, your grow pot and potting mix, your rooting hormone powder, and a utility knife. Second, you'll need to prepare your cuttings. To do this, you'll need to allow your cuttings to dry out for 1 to 2 days after you take the cutting. Doing this and allowing the end of the cutting to callus over will reduce the chance of the cutting rotting when you're trying to propagate it. Step 3 is to remove any excess leaves from the croton cuttings. It'd be best if you do this after you take the cutting, but do it at least before you try to pot the cutting in a pot. Step 4 is to strip the bark off the lower end of the cutting. This will allow a greater chance for roots to grow when covered in rooting hormone. So step 5 is to dip the end of the croton cutting into the rooting hormone. When you dip it in, make sure you give it a good swirl around to make sure the whole end of the cutting is covered. Step 6 is to insert the end of the croton cuttings into the potting mix. You want to make sure that it's pushed at least 1 inch deep or to 1.5 inches, and once you do that, make sure you firm up the soil around it just to make sure it's secured in place. Step 7 is to give the croton cuttings a really good water, and then once watered, you want to move them somewhere that they're not going to get any direct sunlight for more than 1 hour per day, but also receive indirect sunlight throughout the whole day. So here's an update on how my crouton cuttings are going at the moment. So you can see some have worked and some haven't worked. So you got this thicker one here. It's actually sprouted up another offshoot or a pup or whatever they're called. So it's obviously doing well, hasn't lost any leaves. And you've also got this little one here. It lost every leaf, but this little one held on. And I think it must have rooted, and it's growing its own roots, and it'll survive. Although, one thing I'm going to have to do something about is hard to see, but one thing I noticed was you can see just on that leaf there's a little white insect. That's a mealybug. It's not good. It shouldn't be there. I'm going to have to get rid of it. I'll probably just poke it off with a stick and throw it in the bin. And you can see I've had some problems. Like you can see at the end of this failed cutting. So you can see at the end of this failed cutting, but there's a bunch of little, they look like baby insect mealybugs all around there. So I'm going to pull out, and obviously this one's not going to root. You can see it just rotted from the start. And there's all this white powdery stuff. That must be from the mealybugs. It must have, I don't know if they stopped the cutting from working, but it didn't work, clearly. And then this one here as well. You can see also it's got the white, I don't know, white residue, probably from the mealybugs also. So that one didn't work either. It's probably a little small as well. So chuck that away as well. And I'm just going to let these, I'm not going to take them out of this pot just yet. I'm going to let them carry on. Hopefully succeed. This other one in the middle, it's got a little, probably can't see that either. Just behind my fingernail, there's another white mealybug there that I'll have to poke off and get rid of that bug so it doesn't keep coming back, laying eggs or whatever they do. Anyways, so that's good. This is the first time I've managed to properly propagate these crouton cuttings, so very happy with the effort. Cheers.